How's it going, guys? Equal here, and welcome back to another league battle thing. I have to move my mouse over here because I forgot to bring up the sheet. So, as you know, the season for the PGL has ended, and that leaves me leagueless. So I was just chilling on Twitter, and Shardy, who is Kelly's friend, retweeted a tweet saying that Shadow Gaming Company did a coach for the International Casual Conference to take over the team from someone, I forget, isn't it? Sage, from Sage. I had a total mind lag there. So I went ahead and I said, you know what, I can take over the team because I've got a league going on right now and I'd quite like to get back into one. This is a showdown league, so I don't know how they feel about me recording everything, but I'm assuming they don't have a problem with it because, you know, why would they? There are a lot of people that I've heard of in this league as well, so like H2 Drink It I've heard of, Potato Jim, One Seater Marvel, obviously Shadow Gaming Club is there, so there are people that I know of in this league, so you know, it's I know that it's going to be kind of competitive, which is good. At least kind of competitive, I say. It's going to be competitive. So I went ahead and I overtook his team, and he has a very interesting team. So the way the ICC works is they have however many tiers. 2, 4, 6. They have 7 tiers, going S, A, B, C, D, F, and Mega. And so we had a really interesting team. You have to get one from each tier, and then however many you can afford from the other tiers, but you can have a maximum of 11 mons. Now we have 11 mons, which is good, because it gives you a lot of diversity. In the PGR we had 12, and that was enough for me. So I'm going to go ahead and run through the team. It's going to kind of be like a draft analysis, but not really, because I did make a few changes. So the draft, I think I'm just going to go ahead and say the draft. The draft that that Sage drafted was Mew, Keldeo, Rotom Mo, Ditto, Armaldo, Mega Medicham, Wigglytuff, Talonflame, Drodagon, Drapion, and Wormadam T. So it's a little bit iffy for me. I'm very, very comfortable using Keldeo and Rotom Mo and Armaldo. I can use those, all of those, I've used those before. Not so much Keldeo, but Terrakion is a thing, and I know how Keldeo works. And I've used it a little bit, so we're okay on that part. Ditto I've never used, but I know of its viability in leagues. And there's not really much to a Ditto. You scarf it and you make it max speed, and that's pretty much it. And you send it in and you kill stuff. Mew you can use in literally any way you want, so I'm not too fussed about that. I'm happy to be using Mew. Mega Medicham I have used a little bit of, and I love the thing, so that's good. And then we get to the other mons. In short, Wigglytuff. I've used Wigglytuff before. I've never been impressed with Wigglytuff, not even in PU. We'll get on to Wigglytuff. I'm not particularly thrilled about that. Talonflame I'm excited to use because I've never used that before. Drodagon is fine. Drapion is good, I like it, but not in leagues. And then Wormadam T is Wormadam T. So we're gonna just go ahead and look at the mons individually. So starting off with Mew, the team captain. I don't have a nickname for this. It'll probably be something that I come up with on the day. There's not a lot to say about Mew. Base 100 across the board. It gets Synchronize, and it gets every TM and HM. It's such a wide variety of moves. You can use it in any role. I'm very excited to use this. It's not my favourite Pixie. It's not near the top of my favourite Pixies. I like Celebi, Manaphy, Jirachi, Victini, all above Mew. But I'm excited to use it, and that's mainly because the other ones you have very clear ways of using them. Victini hits hard as hell. It's got Blue Flare and Be Creative, Bolt Strike and whatnot. Manaphy is Tail Glow. Celebi is often more a support role because it gets Recover and Synthesis and Thunder Wave and whatnot. You can use it offensively with Leaf Storm and U-Turn and Nasty Plot or Swords Dance, Baton Pass. And did I say another one? Jirachi. Jirachi is just amazing, period. It's a Steel type, so Choice Scarf, Iron Head, Stealth Rocks, Toxic, whatever. This thing, this thing gets everything, so I'm excited to use it. I'm excited to see what it can bring to the table. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if I use this every week because of its wide move pool and excessively good viability, especially in leagues, because you can't prepare for a Mew. You can't. There's too many variables that you have to account for in a Mew, so, you know, I'm excited to use this thing. I think this thing is going to be good. Just based off its move pool. This is only the commonly used moves. You get down here and you get stuff like Aerial Ace, which is entirely viable. What else do you get? Dynamic Punch, I suppose you can use. Fly. Don't get Brave Bird, so Fly. Giga Impact, you all know that I love my Giga Impact and Hyper Beam. You all know. Incinerate can be good because I know we're going up against Core Dog for the first week. The third week that we're in the league, but the first week we're going up against Core Dog, and Core Dog likes his berries. I know that. So Incinerate can be useful. Icy Wind, as always, is useful. It gets the weather, so we have options. We do with this thing. It's Vacuum Wave. Why isn't that up? It's Vacuum Wave. So we have a lot of options with Mew. It's the most versatile one in the game, and there's not a lot to say about it really. It's a Mew. It will do work. Next up, we have Keldeo. Now Keldeo is the exact same as Terrakion, but its offense is swapped, and instead of being a rock type, it's a water type. I can work with that because it gets Secret Sword, which is accurate enough and it does enough damage to the point where I'm definitely going to use it. It gets Scald, so I can burn stuff. We can use some physical moves. 72 base attack isn't terrible, it can pick off things if we need to do so. So if it gets Quick Attack, I don't know if it gets Quick Attack or not. It doesn't. Actually, does it get Vacuum Wave? It doesn't. That kind of sucks. But if it comes to the point where, we actually have to use any physical moves, like X-Scissor, if we're up against, I don't know, a Psychic type and we can't touch it, and we have to use X-Scissor, I will more than happily do it. We have a decent attack. I'd say that 85 is like the minimum that you need for it to be usable as a main offense. That's generally what I go by. 85 in any stat is what you need for it to be like mainly usable, especially in offense. So 72 isn't great, but it's okay enough for me to be able to pick off stuff like Aqua Jet. I can use reliably. Close Combat, if I need to, I can use reliably. So we can do that. This thing gets Hydro Pump, Icy Wind. It gets Reflect. I don't think it gets Light Screen. It does get Reflect. So if we want to run Reflect, we can run Reflect. It gets Surf and Hydro Pump. We want a little bit more power than Scald. Taunt is always good. It gets Swords Dance, so we can, like I say, use physical moves. Raw. We're bulky enough to live one hit from basically anything, so I can raw things. Facade if we need to. Calm Mind is oh so common. Sub Calm Mind is oh so common with Keldeo. So I wouldn't be surprised if we end up using that later on. So Keldeo has options. It does. It's no Rupture, but it has options. I might call this Boots as an OTT train, but I don't know. But I'm happy with using that. That's fine. The next one I want to touch on, and this is interesting because this is my Mega Medicham. Now, normally I wouldn't draft Mega Medicham if I had Keldeo and Mew because they've got a Psychic type and a Fighting type already. But for this draft, I actually think it works quite well. I mean, it's a Mega Medicham. You're going to have limited switches to this thing anyway. But I'm happy with this because of the wide variety of moves that it gets that we can utilise Pure Power with. So, Bullet Punch, obviously you can use it. Drain Punch, I've been known to use a little bit more than High Jump Kick, because I don't trust High Jump Kick. It's 90% accurate, but I still don't trust it. So I am more than likely going to use Drain Punch. Not only because I like the recovery, but it deals okay damage, and you know, it's 100% accurate. So I will happily use Drain Punch over High Jump Kick. We have the physical offense to deal with that, so that's fine. The only scenario in which I'm going to run High Jump Kick over Drain Punch is A, if something can take the hit, or B, if I think there's any chance of the opponent running a berry, like a Chopper Berry, I will run High Jump Kick over Drain Punch, just to get the more damage off, unless it doesn't matter, in which case I will Drain Punch. So, you know, that's good. Fake Out, obviously, is for good stuff. Facade, in case people want to burn me, that will come in handy. Fire Punch is good for those Steel types, or for those Bug types. Ice Punch is great. Poison Jab for Fairies. Power Up Punch if I want to run that. Psycho Cut. It gets Recover, so you can run Recover. I wouldn't, but you can. Rock Slide as well. Then Headbutt. What's that, my phone? Damn it, Amber, you always interrupt my recordings. Then Headbutt, great. You know, this thing has options. Again, Reflect, but no Light Screen. What? Why? But you know, this thing has options. It's fast, it hits hard, but good, I like it. Base 100 is like the minimum that I would say it's something as fast. We speed type with a lot of things at base 100, and that's good. So that's okay. I like base 101s a little bit more because you just outspeed base 100s, but you know, this is great. You know, in this league, everything is level 100, so if I'm, say, Jolly, well, I don't know why I'm doing that, and I have Pure Power, then I'm going to be 268 times by 2, which is, off the top of my head, 536. So, that's probably wrong. Don't quote me on that. So that's good. Oh wait, no, I don't have EVs in this. Why don't I have any EVs? 299 times by 2, which is freaking 400 freaking 598 is what I meant to say. I think. I haven't done mental maths in so long. So yeah, this thing hits hard. It hits really super duper hard, and that's good. That's what we want. Because we have Mew, which is okay. It's okay. And then Keldeo, which is special. So this thing is going to be our main physical offensive mon. I don't like how we have 2 psychic types and 2 fighting types, but you know, we'll rock out. Hunchcrow kind of destroys us, but we'll rock out. Anyway, next up we have, that's the nickname, next up we have a mon that I really, really like. She just sent me to. The one that I really, really like in Rotom Mo. If I had to pick a favourite Rotom form, let's actually think this through. If I had to pick a favourite Rotom form, it would be Rotom Mo. Because I just love this thing. Grass isn't the best defensive typing, but you can run this defensively because it has the special D for it. Or the physical D for it if you want. It's decently fast, you know, it hits decently hard. Scarf it, Specs it, Dark Pulse, Discharge, Hex, Willow, Leaf Storm. So Willow Hex you can run. Thunderwave Hex you can run. Toxic Hex you can run if you really want to. Shadow Ball, Signal Beam. This thing gets Reflect and Light Screen. So Light Clay, we can run it. Get Sub, I can run that. Charge Beam, I can run. You know, I can run that. I can make that work. Sunny Day, if I want to get rain. It gets Rain Dance. Freaking perfect, man. Get rid of that fire weakness. Make those thunders 100% accurate. You're good. So there's not much that I can say about Rotom. I love this thing. It's on the vast majority of items that I make has Rotom on it in some fashion or form because its typing is so unique. It's not weak to ground because it has Levitate. Well, excluding the grass typing, of course. But it's not only weak. It's not only you know, immune to ground. If they have Mold Break in one like Excadrill, we're technically neutral to ground, and we can deal with it because we have the grass type. So Rotom is really, really good, and it works really well on the team that I'm making, and I'll get to that in a minute. But it's Rotom. I love this thing. I don't have a name for it. That's a good point. Rotom is one of the most commonly used mons in League type format. I don't have a name for it. Wow, okay. Next up we have Ditto. Like I say, there's not a lot that you can do with Ditto. This is probably what's going to be happening most of the time. I'm saying timid, it probably won't be timid, but whatever. And then either 252 into there, or 252 into there, or into HP, or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's a Ditto. You go in, and you copy the stat changes, and you copy the Pokemon, and you outspeed, because you're Scarfed. So you win. So, you know, because Pokemon, especially in lower tiers, or especially in higher tiers, sorry, and in leagues, they have such a wide move pool to try and combat all of your mons. Oftentimes they have a move that they're weak to themselves, which is why Ditto is good. This is actually not worth a lot of points. It's kind of a snag, which is good. But anyway, next up we have... That's the nickname, I always do that. Next up we have Armaldo. Which is our only spinner, but Mew has Defog. Talonflame, if you really want to, has Defog. I won't run that though. This thing can work. Decent HP, decent defense, good attack, decent specialty, so it can live a hit or two. We're not doing that. It's not got the best speed, but that's fine because you're primarily going to be a wall, is what Armaldo is there for, or at least a decently offensive spinner. And you get decent moves as well. In terms of coverage, Aqua Jet for priority, which is good in a Slowmon. You don't see that very often. Body Slam is always good. Brick Break, just for coverage sake, can be good and can destroy screens, just in case. Facade, for people who want to Toxic me. Knockoff Home Claws can be used, especially if we have Stone Edge. Home Claws can be used. Low Kick is good. Protect, just Scout. Rapid Spin. Return. It gets Rock Polish. Now, Rock Polish, I think the lowest speed tier that you want in a Rock Polish mon, I think is 40. It depends. What's Golem's base speed? It's either Golem or Hyperion. I think they both have base 45. So the minimum that you want is base 40. We have base 45, so if we want an offensive Rock Polish Armaldo, we can do. It's not an issue. We can do that. Put Rock Polish on there and Home Claws, then Stone Edge everything to all hell and back. And I could see it working. I could. Seismic Toss, we won't run it, but it's there. Stealth Rocks, obviously, so we can set up rocks and get rid of them. Swords Dance. Who needs freaking Home Claws when you have Swords Dance? Swords Dance, Rock Polish, done. And then X's are for stab as well. I get Superpower, which is good. Armaldo is very underrated, especially in leagues, because it's neutral to rocks, and the idea of it is that you want to get rid of it. But I've used Avalugg successfully, and Avalugg is weak to rocks. So I think I can use Armaldo. Gets Battle Armor and Swift Swim. I'll get to Swift Swim in a minute as well. I can use Armaldo. Armaldo is good. I actually really like it, so we're fine. Next up we have Wigglytuff, which is shit. It's got decent special attack. It's got the minimum that I would say is usable. It's got decent HP, but the defenses don't back up the HP. So we're kind of screwed in that sense. We can't run this defensively, really, which kind of sucks. It gets Frisk. This is the main redeeming quality of Wigglytuff that I found, is that A, it's a fairy type, and B, it gets Frisk. So I can see what item he's going to have. And if I need to, I can run competitive. So like swapping on an Intimidator, get special attack boost, and then maybe a Moonblast will hurt a little bit more, but the speed does not back it up. The only way that I can see this working is if I Rock Polish, Nasty Plot, pass into this thing with Mew. Is the only way that I can see this working. Because it's got good moves, it's got a good move pool, but the stats are just not there. so I'm a little bit hesitant to use this. Who knows, maybe I'll find a way to make it work, because it does get the good coverage moves. It gets Ice Beam, Flamethrower, and Thunderbolt, which is the holy trinity of coverage moves. It gets Pain Splits, but it can get recovery. And then obviously like Thunder Wave and Toxic and Stealth Rocks and Dazzling Gleam. So I didn't get rid of this thing just yet, but you know, it's there. Next up we have Talonflame. Good old Smogon Burb himself. And Smogon Burb, I've never used before. Now I know it's good. The way that I see this is it's a slightly faster Swellow, minus the guts, is the way that I see it. And it gets Swords Dance. So, obviously its attack is kind of piss poor. But it gets, you know, decently powerful moves. And it gets Bulk Up, which you can use. I know you can use. It gets Facade if you really want to. It gets Quick Attack, which is always good. Roost, Swords Dance, U-Turn, and it gets Willow. I'm aware that people do run bulky Willow Talon. I will need to see how I use it, but we should be okay. We should be okay for this Talonflame. I know it's good. I know it's good one. I just have to get used to using it a bit more and see. At the moment, if I had the choice between Talonflame and Swellow, in this draft I'll go for Talonflame because I need the fire. But any other time I'd go for Swellow just because I know how to use Swellow. I like the +1 priority, it's great, so that's something at least. Now next up we have Druddigon, Drapion and Wormadam T. Now I have an issue with those three. First off, Wormadam T is terrible. I don't like it at all, not good. Second, Drapion is not really good in leagues. I don't particularly want to use it in a league. I don't think it's good enough to be used in a league. I love the Mon, don't get me wrong, I actually really do like the Mon, but I don't think its stats are really usable in drafts, so I'm a little bit iffy on that. And then Druddigon. Druddigon is fine. I'm happy to use a Druddigon. But I got rid of it. I got rid of those three, because if you look at it, that's our Fairy Steel Dragonclaw. Wigglytuff, Druddigon, Wormadam. That's not a core. That's gonna die to everything. So I said, screw it, we're going to get rid of the Fairy Steel Dragonclaw, stick with our Firewater Grass in Talonflame, Keldeo and Rotom, and instead of getting Wormadam T, Drapion and Druddigon, I'm going to get Politoed and I'm going to get Durant. Now Durant is the main thing here because it replaces Wormadam T. And I've been looking for an excuse to use Durant for a long time. I wanted to pick this up in the PGL. I like genuinely really did. Because I love this thing. Not Truant, you want to get Hustle. Hustle Home Claws with, I don't know, Superpower, X Scissor, Stone Edge, Rock Slide, Iron Head, Crunch, Return, whatever. It's great. You can run Aerial Ace if you want. It's fine, you can do that. Durant is one of those ones that no one expects because no one thinks it's this fast and no one thinks it hits this hard. Its special defenses aren't great. And obviously it has that crippling weakness to fire. Which is not good. But it has just the right speed and just the right attack to be usable. It's like Heliolisk, got the same offensive stats as Heliolisk, but the attack and special attack are reversed. Which is good. So all you got to do with this thing is send it in, set up a Home Claws, and you're good. Put a Live one there, put a Focus Dash on there, whatever. And it gets the moves for it, it does. And you can Baton Pass if you want, because it's fast enough to do that. The thing that I noticed about this team is that after my changes, our speed tier was very good. Before them, our speed tier was pretty good. It was alright, it's good, it's decent. Now, it's very good. We outspeed the vast majority of things, because you all know that I love my speed. But the main reason why I did this was to replace the Wormadam T. And then you look at the draft, and you've got Mew, Keldeo, Rotom, Ditto, Armaldo, Mega Medicham, Wigglytuff, Talonflame, and Druddigon. And I'm sat there and I'm thinking to myself, you know what would benefit from Rain? Keldeo would benefit from Rain. Rotom would. Armaldo would because it gets Swift Swim. Durant would because it gets rid of its fire weakness. The only thing that Rain really hurts is the Talonflame. And even then, I can run Brave Bird over Flare Blitz because they hit roughly the same amount of things, you know. Flare Blitz is good for steel types, and that's pretty much it. But if I don't want to run Rain, then I can run Talonflame just on its own, which is good. So I went ahead and I skipped up Politoed. I sat there and I was speaking to Nate about it because C was doing work, and C did not agree with this all that much. I went ahead and I picked up Politoed for the drizzle purposes because our team is a Rain team with Talonflame, is the way that I like to think about it. And I think it'll work. Now, the draft is a bit misshapen because, like, obviously I didn't draft this. Sage did, and he will have a different playstyle to me, and he will have a different kind of idea of what mons he's comfortable with than I will. But overall, I think that this is the best that I could do with what I had. I got these 2 free agency trades just because I was joining and taking over the team, and they've got to give me some consideration for that. And I think it's okay. But I do worry a little bit about how mismatched the draft is. Now, we're in week 3, and the team has lost 3-0 and 6-0 already. I haven't done battles yet. The battle that we have against Core Dog will go up Sunday, I think. So I'll have a team builder up on Saturday for that. So I'm hoping that with this team we can start winning some matches. The thing to note is that I can't use Durant and Politoed against Core Dog. I have to use the Drodagon, Drapion, and Wormdan T part of the draft instead of the Politoed and Durant one because it's such short notice, you know. It's already Wednesday as of recording this. I only joined last night. So I can't use Politoed and Durant because that would be a little bit unfair to have to try and prep with that. So I'm going to see what I can do. I'm not expecting to win. But if I want to reach playoffs, then I have to win basically every match from now on. While that's not impossible, it's hard to do. So we'll see how it goes. But in the meantime, that wraps up the draft. So tell me what you think. Tell me what you think I should do, because I do have 3 other trades to make throughout the season. If you have any ideas for the draft, let me know, because it is a bit misshapen. And I'm a little bit iffy about it, but hopefully I can get it to work. Hopefully I can win some matches. It is Showdown, and I'm not a fan of Showdown because I think the Showdown RNG is complete and utter bullshit. But we'll see what we can do. We'll be okay. It's going to be a nice little league for me to do while the PGL is taking a break until December. There are, let's see, so we're in week 3 now, there's 11 weeks in total, minus playoffs. Or actually, not including playoffs. So it should keep me going for the next 2 months, which would be good. But yeah, that wraps up the team. That wraps up the draft. So tell me what you guys think. Leave suggestions in the comments below. Leave suggestions for nicknames as well, because I don't have nicknames. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye.